Trump has imposed tariffs on Indian trade. That's a good thing. Baffled? Well, don't be. Welcome to Confusion Clarified, and let's break down the whole Trump tariff tantrum and the big choice and big advantage that India has. Now, based on his election campaign plank, the US President Donald Trump finally came through on his threat to slap tariffs on nations who he felt was taking America for a ride, by imposing import duties on goods higher than what America itself was charging those countries. Well, in India's case, we are guilty as charged, but what the Don conveniently left out was that developing countries like us had a genuine reason. At least till liberalisation, India had very little foreign exchange, and it was essential that imports were controlled so that the nation did not go bankrupt and could not service its debts. A fun fact for you, back in the late 70s or early 80s, the pop group ABBA had become so popular in communist Poland that the country faced a foreign reserve crisis, as a good portion of the money was flowing out with people buying imported records and cassettes of the Swedish pop group. Legend has it that Poland actually had to work out a barter deal with Sweden to save its precious foreign reserves from depleting. Now, coming back to the present day, one of the reasons India restricted free imports was because of foreign currency, and later also to protect sectors like textiles, auto manufacturing, etc., which provided livelihood to hundreds of thousands of ordinary Indians. And don't forget agriculture sector, that political hot potato where hardly any reform has managed to break through for much of independent India's history. Now, be that as may be, what all that has led to is a very protectionist domestic business ecosystem, which in many sectors cannot compete with global standards. A typical example is India's automobile industry. In the late 90s and early 2000s, when global biggies in the auto sector started coming to India, the local players had protested. And up to now, the best case scenario for a foreign car or bike maker is to set up a factory in India to escape the steep import duties if he even as much as dared to directly import the vehicles, in some cases multiples of the cost. But today, thanks to all those global players setting up shop in the country, the local players have also innovated, expanded and improved. Today, made in India cars, SUVs and bikes are exported to scores of countries around the world. A sequel to that could be the best case scenario that perhaps Trump's Liberation Day moves could well lead India into. The tariffs could make exports of some sectors suffer, some gain, while a third scenario has countries like China dumping the manufactured items in India since they become unviable to be exported to the US, as was being done earlier. But now, with Indian government officials making it clear that India is not looking at tit-for-tat tariffs on US imports, the easiest way out would be to negotiate and settle the bilateral trade agreement with the US that's been discussed for years now. Talks have gained momentum under the shadow of the Big Dawn, and an agreement could materialize in a few months' time. Considering all that, the best opportunity for India right now would be in making some sort of big concessions by cutting its unreasonably high duties down, rationalizing tariffs, and reforming sectors that were untouchable till now, like for example, say agriculture. Remember that opening up the Indian market to American farm products was one of the big asks from Washington. That could well make many of our protected domestic sectors get competitive and in turn world-class. If the Modi government dares to catch the bull by the horns, tariff would one day be similar to 1991 liberalisation. You'll be getting a lot of tariff, that's a Hindi word tariff, meaning praise, here in India. Let's wait and watch.